Welcome to Uncle Carl's podcast. Uncle Carl, welcome to your show.
Thank you for having me on my show. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, Uncle Carl, I heard that you just closed a couple of deals this past couple of weeks, man. Tell us about these deals that you closed. What's going on with them?
We closed out two deals this week. One we netted 46,000, and one we netted 75,000.
Damn, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and the first one that we just closed out. What happened was the house was vacant, it was abandoned, and what
Okay.
happened was you couldn't. The first time I went out to see this house, I couldn't find it because
Really?
the trees had grown up so high you
Holy
couldn't
shit.
see it from the road. And I was driving by because we got it as one of our leads. I'm driving by, and finally I get out and I start walking up and say, "Oh, damn, there is a house back there." And it had been sitting there vacant for 10 years.
What?
And what happened is the guy had passed away.
Uh-huh.
He passed away in the house on the couch, and they didn't find him for a week later.
Oh, my
When the heir was
God.
telling us about the sad situation.
Yeah. Jesus.
So what we did is this had a lien on it that there's a pressure for, I think it's like 8 or 10,000 need to be cleared
Okay.
up. And then what happened was none of the heirs were talking to each other. They had all they didn't get along real well.
Okay.
So what we ended up doing is we built the family tree out. Like the mother and father had passed away.
And how do you do that?
We just go to legacy.com and we pull the obituaries. It's real
Got it.
simple, and it says who are the people that the next of kin. So, or they're like so and so survived by so and so
Right.
so and so. Then all we did was we went and we called them up, and the first one we ended up they lived out in Wilmington, two
Okay.
sisters. We made a deal to buy their part. I think it was like 1,800 apiece, and then we also ended up contacting two brothers and made deals with them. And then there was a sister in Georgia, and so we made separate deals with all of them, and we ended up the one guy.
And when you purchase the basically from the other people, you're basically getting them to quit claim the deed to you guys, or you're getting
Yes.
a contract or something.
Typically, what we do is we'll give them like $500 up front, or sometimes we won't give them anything up front, and say when we clear it to close, we'll give you X amount of dollars.
But you want to be on the title.
We want to be in the title. So if you can get the deed, do whatever you can to get the deed. So we got the deed from four of them, and then the fifth person found out that there's these two sisters, and they only owned like less than a quarter. And so he was upset. So I drove out to his shop, talked to him, and made the deal with him, and had to pay him a little bit more. But we ended up getting on title, and then we cut a pathway through. You couldn't see it, so we cut a pathway through the house, and we basically marketed it out to some buyers we have.
Yeah.
And they agreed to buy it for 74,000, and we were into it. By the time we cleared up all the stuff, we were into it for like 20 something. Anyways, we netted 46,000, and we only held the property 3 months
Amazing.
from the time we got the first deeds to the time it got sold. So, and then the whole 26, we only had a little bit of money invested in it
Up
then
front.
up front, and
Yeah.
then we cleared the title.
Correct.
We had the rest of the money invested for probably a month and a half.
Correct.
So the return on that was incredible, and that was basically where
amazing.
people passed away, a vacant house.
Was it a easy deal or not that easy?
It was
to-
relatively easy,
Yeah.
but there was one of the relatives was a little bit difficult and kept calling me all the time. And
Well, explain what they did. What did they say?
just because she found out that the one of the brothers got a little bit more money than she did.
That's.
It was just a little bit more, it's a few $100s, I don't know. So
Yeah.
I agreed to pay her, so I paid her the difference. Her daughter was I forget, had some kind of medical issues, so I ended up giving her $500 more afterwards. But it was a call every single day, But I had to pay the other brother more because he was the last one
Yeah.
holding out, and we needed it to get the deal. So we ended up paying him a little bit more, but we'd already agreed to pay everybody else. So
Yeah.
you got to do what you got to do to get the deal done. But
Correct.
then I did give her an extra $500 at the end of the deal out of my pocket.
That's okay. I mean, you made such a great profit that you can afford paying them a little bit more.
Yeah, so we didn't mind doing, and they would have lost the property to a foreclosure issue.
Oh,
Anyways,
really?
the $18,000 is a small amount, not 18. I think it was 8 or 10 or something.
Okay.
I'm not real good with numbers. My partner is, and he just puts it on a spreadsheet and he says, "Here's your portion," and that's how we work with it. So
Got it. Well, what about the second one?
the second deal was a deal we worked on for about a year and a half.
Jesus Christ.
And this was a mess. It was a lot, an up-and-coming area in Charlotte.
Okay.
There's a first mortgage, a private first mortgage, a private second mortgage. There were judgments against it, liens from the city. There's a whole host of stuff.
Can you explain what is a private mortgage to some people that might not know?
That's like an individual. This
Okay.
lady she had loaned money against the property, so it was
Okay.
payable to an individual. It wasn't like an institution or bank.
Got it.
So we had the first, the second, and then we had all this other stuff. So what we did is we found one of the guys that had a judgment against it, and he was in a later position on the property.
Right.
So we gave him $2,000 to use his judgment to foreclose on it. So he got $2,000 plus we gave him a little kicker, but he kept to keep his judgment. But his judgment was worthless because so far back in the scheme of things. I think it's called a judicial foreclosure. Or no, not judicial foreclosure. I can't even remember. Anyways, we just basically bought the lien and then we foreclosed on
So
the
how do
property.
you buy the lien?
Well, we gave him $2,000, and then he actually gave us the right to use his lien. We foreclosed in his name, but we got the property.
Real?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So he kept his lien. He got a free $2,000. I think we gave him $500 or $1,000 kicker, for helping us out with it.
Right.
But he was in such a position in the back end, he would have never gotten any money against the property.
Yeah.
So then we owned the property. Then we had the first mortgage we had to deal with, the second mortgage, and all the liens. So the first mortgage lady, she was really difficult, and it took us a while, but we negotiated her down about $50,000 or $60,000.
Wow.
And then we paid the guy in second position $7,500 just to release his second. Because
Okay.
he if she would have foreclosed, he would have gotten nothing anyways.
Correct.
So he ended up getting $7,500, but he kept his judgment against the guy, So that worked out good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Then we negotiated. There's all sorts of city liens and judgments, and we negotiated some of those down too.
Can you negotiate city liens?
We were able to negotiate some of the code enforcement liens that were against the
Okay,
property
code
down.
enforcement, because like taxes are not negotiable.
No, we couldn't negotiate. There was taxes we had to pay those, but we were able to negotiate with the city of Charlotte.
Got it.
And we saved some money on those. So it took us a year and a half of working this deal. It was a pain in the ass.
Jeez, I
And,
can imagine.
But we got it, and then luckily the property went up in value probably 50,000 or more during the time when we started on it. So that really helped out.
That's really cool, though. I mean, okay, you're working on the property, and you're like, okay, we're making a profit. Like you already made your math, everything, and like after a year when you close it, you realize, holy shit, it's already 50,000 more. That's such a great. Oh my God! Yeah.
So we ended up selling it. At the time of closing, I think we didn't have a lot of money, 10 or 15,000 total invested,
Yeah.
and then we had to pay off some other stuff in the
Yeah.
first, and we negotiated to pay those off right when we sold it. So we ended up netting like $75,250 was our net on the property.
That's not bad.
With-
If it didn't go in value 50 grand, so what you will make 25, something like that, 30.
Well, yeah, we thought originally we were gonna make more. We thought we could negotiate better deals on the first, and then she got an attorney, and then we got into this big.
So you guys got lucky a little bit.
Yeah, we got lucky, because we'd already did the judicial foreclosure. So if we couldn't work somebody out in the first position,
Yeah.
we could have been out $5,000 or $6,000 or $7,000.
Yeah.
But we were pretty sure we could work the deal. So we did take a chance. We could
Yeah.
have lost all that money, but we would have fought. Yeah, we could have lost that money. It was a possibility, but we knew that she wanted to do something. She wanted her money
Right.
back.
Yeah.
And so we were able to help her, and so that's just a deal. Like not a tremendous amount of money, but $75,000 profit by getting a judgment and using that to foreclose on it, and then negotiating discounts with everybody.
Correct.
And it was a lot of work, and my partners were the ones that did most of the heavy lifting on that one. I was the one that talked to the guy into letting us use his judgment to foreclose on. I did that part, and they did all the rest.
Wow.
And it was not a fun deal.
I can imagine. So you guys for like you're thinking like how Carl was able to do it. I mean, you gotta take a chance on some deals and just go for it, and you figure it out in a way. Maybe sometimes you're gonna lose, but that's the life of investor. You always gotta get a chance.
Yeah, you always got to take a chance, I think. And we didn't have a lot of money, so worst case, we would have been out a little bit of money and moved on and whatever. But the payoff was so big. I mean, we ended up making $75,000 on that deal.
Yeah.
So that was the two deals we closed out last week.
Okay. So we have spoken with you, not live, privately about, some creative financings and creative deals, how you guys are making and things like this. So why don't you share with everyone how maybe some kind of creative deals that you have done in the past couple, months, years, and how can you work that out, and maybe you can help people have different perspectives.
Yeah, let me tell you about this one. And I may have even talked about it in my last podcast. So if I did, I can't even remember what I've talked about. So if I did, like I said last time, just fast forward the tape.
Right.
But there was a deal that came. There was a newbie. She was new in the business, and I was back when I was trying to get back into it. And she had. I said, "Do you have any throwaway deals that you threw away?
Yeah.
That we might be able to look at and make something out of."
Right.
And she looked back through and she said, "Hey, I got this one property that I tried to do something on it. The lady was a little bit underwater, owed a little bit more than the property was worth, and it's still sitting there vacant a year later."
Okay.
And so we called her up, and I said, the whole key is sort of asking the people and finding out about their situation,
right,
and solving the situation. So we called up and we said, "Hey, what's going on with the property? I noticed that it's vacant." I said, "Are you making the payment every month?" She said, "Oh yeah, I make the payment every single month." And then I said, "Well, I noticed that someone's broken into it, and the house looks like it's sort of deteriorating a little bit." She says, "Yeah, that's you want them to sort of feel the pain of what they're going through."
Right.
She said, "Okay, yeah, I'm doing that." And I said, "Well, one of the options, we were talking about different options, is you can do a short sale on the property where you sell it for less. The bank will take less, and it gets off your credit." She goes, "I will never, ever do that. I care about my credit. I will never, ever, ever do that." So I said, "Okay, well, would you like me to pay half your payment every month? Would that help you out?" She goes, "Oh, yeah." She goes, "Okay." And I said, "Well, your house needs some work. I'm going to have to put some of my own money into it. So I'm going to need a check from you for $5,000 at closing to help get this thing fixed up." She goes, "Okay." So at closing, we basically end the mortgage. Get this. The mortgage had 18 years left on it. It was at 4.75% interest. Okay. So it's a very low interest.
It is. Wow.
Mortgage with only 18 years left. So at closing, she wrote me a check for $5,000. And also we had in the deal, too, that she would make the entire payment till the house was fixed up. So I didn't have to fix it up. And I didn't even make a payment for the first 6 months or however long it took to fix the house up.
Yeah.
So she's paying the whole payment. So I did I think we might have $15,000. We added a bathroom. We did some stuff. So I do have about $15,000 of my own money in the property.
Okay.
So we fixed it up. It rents for $1,095. I pay $440 a month, and I've had it over a year. So there's 17 years left on the mortgage. The property now is worth about $170,000 in the condition it's in. Might be a little bit more, and we probably owe about $72,000 to $74,000. I'm not sure what's owed on it.
So
exactly, I'm not real good with numbers.
100,000 of equity.
Yeah, well, I got $15,000 of my own money in it, so you're looking at.
So how did you structure that deal? I mean, the lady, she said, "Okay, take over my title," basically.
Yeah, what's called subject to. What it means is basically I put the property into my name. It's actually, we put it in what's called a land trust.
Okay.
It's sort of like a, for lack of better words, it's sort of like a corporation. So we put it in a land trust, and then the mortgage stays in her name. So I didn't have to go get the financing. I'm just using her financing every month. And
Right.
then
And she agreed also to pay you for fixing it up and things like this and paying the payments while the house is
was being
fixed.
fixed up.
That's amazing.
And then what happened too is it ended up needing a new roof.
Wow.
So we were like, hey, we have a problem here. Says, you need a new
Jesus.
roof. And she was like, okay. So she put most of the money in for the roof, and then I pay that back when I end up eventually selling the property. So I will pay her back for that, but she paid for the
Okay.
roof.
So how did you convince her? I mean, what she didn't want to make the payment?
For the roof?
No, for getting the subject too.
Oh, I just told her my whole thing was, hey, wouldn't you like me to pay half your payment every month? She goes, oh, that's a lot better than just sitting there doing nothing. Because she did not want to lose. She did.
So she still pays the half of the payment every month.
She still pays half the payment
Jesus
every
Christ,
month.
that's amazing deal.
So
That's a freaking amazing
see,
deal.
you guys just got to look at their problem, ask them questions, and see where their pain is. Her pain was she didn't want to sell it for less than it was worth.
Right.
I mean, she didn't want to do the short sale, and for her, it was a solution. The house was deteriorating, and she.
Why? That's crazy.
Well-
People are crazy.
Well, I mean, she might have had some better options. I mean, she probably should have put 20 or 30,000 into
Yeah.
it, fixed it up, and sold it, and she might have made a little bit of money.
Right.
But this solved her problem.
Correct.
And I
yeah.
asked her, will this work for you? And she said, yes, this will work for me. So we sort of collaborated together, coming up with a
Okay.
solution
Okay.
to it. And so that's when sometimes you can come up with deals like this. You just got to put your mind to the creative side of it. And like I said, it's great. It cash flows every month. It's getting paid down quick.
How much you cash flow every month from it?
Well, the rent's $440, $1,095. I don't know. I don't really pay much attention to it. I just get the checks and send them out. So, but it probably cash flows $300-400 a month when you factor in repairs and vacancies and stuff like that.
That's
So,
pretty good.
yeah, I'm fine with that because it's getting paid down and
Right.
I've created the equity. So like,
Right.
I could make $80,000 if I were to sell it right now, but it's in an area that's going up in value, and so in a
Just
historic
gotta keep
area.
it.
So I'm just going to keep it.
Yeah, keep it. That's it.
Now, at some point, she probably will want me to pay the whole payment, or maybe I'll go back at some point. I know she's going to come to me and say, "I'm tired of paying this $440."
Well, you can refinance it just under your name.
No, I would never do that. No, but What I would do is I'd agree to pay more of the payment. I don't ever because what
Yeah,
happened?
you have advantage. Yeah,
because
yeah.
I don't want to refinance it.
Correct.
Because I've got such a low interest rate, and she's paid most of the
Correct.
interest.
Yeah,
So
correct.
so when you got that less of the times, I'll agree to pay more and more of the payment.
Correct.
I hope she never listens to this, because then she's going to call me up and say, "Hey, I heard you'll pay more of the payment," and I'll have to start paying more of the payment. So. But that was just an example of sometimes how you guys can get creative and take something that may not look like it's a deal and make it into a pretty good deal. I think I'll probably end up making I bet I'll be able to make about $150,000, let's say, in 10 years if I sell it.
Amazing.
So
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an asset that you keep. I mean, it's great.
Yeah, I mean, low interest rate, and she makes half the payment. And I got another deal that's sort of it's a similar creative type deal
Okay.
that we did. There was a lot in the area that's appreciating that I wanted to buy,
Okay.
and I looked up. I basically pulled up. This is where you guys can make a lot of money too. We're going to make probably $750,000 to $1 million just using the property lookup system in Charlotte. Every major city has.
Polaris or GIS, that's what he means about.
It's a property. Yes, it's a property lookup system.
Yeah.
And we just pull stuff up and look for stuff. So we pulled this one piece of property up. It's an area that's appreciating, and I pulled it up, and the lady's name was Phyllis, and I knew it had a bunch of taxes, delinquent taxes on it, and it had some other liens.
Okay.
But I went to her and we made a deal to buy it for $17,500, and I said, well, we're gonna have to take all the liens and stuff out of that. And she goes, okay, that's fine. Well, once we pulled the title search, there was a house on there about 5 years ago or so, and the city demoed it. So there's also a $10,000 demo lien on it.
Oh my God.
So I went back and I had to show her, look, all these liens, grass cutting. There's $21,000 owed on this lot. She goes, oh, I guess I can't sell it. I was like, well, how about I just give you $500 and you deed the property to me? She goes, okay. So she deeded me the property. We owned it for $500. Now, what's great is, that demo lien will fall off in 5 more years if we want to hold it that long. And we're using these liens and judgments we're letting sit there. We'll probably negotiate discounts on some of them. And so it's like free financing. So for $500, we own this lot. And because there's a house on it, that means there was water and sewer taps.
Correct.
Which means that's worth $8,200 more dollars in Charlotte versus a regular lot because you already got the water and sewer
Correct.
taps.
Yeah.
So right now we could probably sell that lot for $60,000 to $65,000. We probably owned it a year and a half.
Okay. But you guys gonna wait 5 years so they can fall off, right?
We'll probably wait 5 years for the demo lien, but it depends. If the area continues to appreciate, we may go and pay the $10,000 off and build. But we can just wait that lien off if we want to.
Right.
So that's another thing too that people don't realize. Most liens are good for 10 years, and I think technically people can renew the liens, but they don't a lot of times.
Yeah.
And so, A, I'm using it for financing. I'm using that lien so I didn't have to come up with my own cash. And B, they can usually be negotiated.
Correct.
Or C, you can wait them off and they'll fall off.
Correct. And it's not in every state like this. Like in every state it's different, and every county sometimes is different with liens and things like this. So check with your,
Yeah, I'm not an
attorneys and
attorney.
things like that.
Whatever you say, please verify with your attorney. Do not sue me.
Yeah.
Check everything. But it's just another creative way to get financing and creative way that you can make extra money negotiating liens and judgments. We do it all the time, and then that's another great way to save money on property. So those are two like creative type ways that you can do deals using underlying financing, underlying liens, underlying judgments,
Right.
things like that. So
It's very good to take advantage of stuff like this if you can.
yeah, I mean, if you don't have a lot of money, and then you could also get creative, like you can bring a partner in that has a little
Right.
bit of money and partner on these type of deals.
Correct. Always. So what else, man? What else you got for us?
I don't know if I talked about the one where we got the 3 people. I think I talked about the one with the $249,000 IRS lien.
249,000
Yeah.
IRS.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, I'll tell it again.
I have very short memory, so I might.
Yeah, we planned this in advance. We spent hours prepping for these
That's not
the
true,
talk.
guys. That's just we come here and
we come here just
brainstorm.
bullshit, and we
Yeah.
just 5 minutes before, like, what are we going to talk about today? Or like, scratch some stuff down on paper and do that. But I think I talked about this, but it was a property where it was vacant, and then we pulled up we used the GIS system,
Right.
found out who the owners are,
Right.
okay, the property lookup system, ran them through a thing called Been Verified, which
Okay.
is it's a skip trace program, and there's other ones that are more expensive that have more stuff, but this one is very expensive. We
Right.
found out 2 of the 3 owners were deceased, so we ended up going after the one owner that was still alive, and I went to her house, and I left note after Federal Express package, did this for 6 months.
Jesus.
And she finally called me, and she said, "Hey, Karl, here you're trying to get a hold of me." I said, yeah.
Yeah, for 6 months.
of leaving notes on the door. But we ended up working a deal where she told me there was a $249,000 IRS lien on the property, but she thought it was going to fall off. Well, it turned out it didn't fall off to the following year. Okay. So we ended up giving her $40,000 to pay off some underlying problems that would have been on the property, and then we had it balloon out for $204. So how we structured it is $40,000 down payment, and then we bought one of the houses for $57,000. We bought the other duplex for $75,000, and she threw the lot in for free. It's a really small lot. Mm-hmm. She said, "This, I don't think I can do anything. I'll give that for free." But what happened was we waited the full year, and then we put one of the houses up for sale. The one for $57,000, we sold it for $125,000.
Holy shit.
So there's $58,000 approximately profit there.
Right.
So we used that to pay off. Then there's only another like 20,000 owed. So that we paid 20,000 in our pocket. So now we have the lot that's free and clear, and the house it's a duplex free and clear. So now what we're doing with the duplex is we got on the market for I think 200,000. We'll probably get 180 for it. So we'll make 100,000 on that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we made 57,000 on the sale of the house already.
Yeah.
And then the lot, what we're doing is called a variance. And what a variance is, where you're basically taking something that's non-conforming, it's too small to build on. You pay an attorney. We have an attorney. We pay $3,500, and what he does is he goes, takes it through the city, and they'll give us an exception and let us build on it. We've already done one of those deals before, so if we can get that, we can probably sell that lot for probably $100,000 or so. I know I told this story before, but just to know, the lien did fall off, and the $214,000 IRS lien. We've never seen the IRS renew a lien. We're not saying they won't, but they didn't renew the lien.
So it fell?
Yeah, it fell off the property. We paid her the money, but we waited and we sold the other property. So we had $40,000 in the pocket, then we put another $20,000. So we only have $60,000 in the pocket, and our net will be probably about $250,000 by the time we get done selling everything.
I have a question. So
Yeah.
whenever the lien falls off, okay, isn't it dangerous to keep the property still whenever the lien falls, because they can renew it?
No, because
No?
it expires.
But-
After 10 years, it's
So
done.
if it's expired and they did not renew it, that's the done deal.
It's
yeah.
done deal.
Okay.
Done deal. And like I said, and I hope again there's no IRS agents listening here. They don't renew their liens. They just let them sit there. And now there's other people told me that you can go to the IRS and ask them to take the lien off.
Yeah, you can. I've heard that as well, but it's
Yeah.
gonna be kind of probably
But
pain
but,
ass.
but I didn't want to take that chance. So we said we'll just wait the year.
Yeah.
So that's another way to get creative. We only had 40,000 invested. We sold the one property, so we had another 20,000 invested. So we'll have 60,000 total into it, and should net about $250,000
That's
on
amazing.
that one deal.
That's amazing. It's really good. Yep. So you guys get creative if you want to make some money.
Yeah, you got to learn. I've all sorts of gurus out there and people I've talked to, and then we just jump in and we sort of figure it out.
Yeah.
We don't always know how it's going to work out.
I don't think the gurus are gonna teach you this kind of stuff.
I
They
don't-
don't know them.
Yeah, we've got some other stuff that's even more creative that
Hey, guys,
I can't share because
If Uncle Karl creates a course, please write. I mean, just text him or email him that you might be interested of taking a course of what exactly he is doing, and if there's enough people that are interested, we might think about creating a course for you guys and. Give some value for you if you want to learn some creative things about real estate investing. So if you're looking forward to that, text him on Facebook or just email him. What's your email?
it's Karl's Real Estate Solutions at Gmail. No, it's Karl with a K, and it's plural. So it's Karl's Real Estate Solutions at gmail.com. I'll give you my phone number. You can text me too. My phone number is 704 995 5385. 704-995-5385. And what we may do is people that are interested in a course is we may be able to do one at a discount for the first people to send it out. Like it's like
Correct.
everything, you got to build it, send it
Correct.
out, and get the feedback on it because sometimes I don't always explain things 100% clearly, and we're going to need feedback on it. But like this year so far, we've got 10 deals that either have cashed out or can cash out for over $100,000 this year. Some of them were deals we bought last year, and some of them are deals that we're going to keep. So I don't think there's a whole lot of people, and we're not doing a lot of rehabs. We do a few rehabs, but most of them are just cleaning the properties up and reselling them, or maybe subdividing land or doing different things. But we're not doing a whole lot of
Traditional real estate investing.
yeah. So these could be some niches that everyone could add to their portfolio. Now, I'm telling the basics here, but if we did a course, we'd really go into the details and more into how to find them and
Correct.
how to do that. I'm just
Correct.
sort of going over the basics of how we created them.
Yep.
But it's some really cool stuff. If I say so myself, I can't believe that we're doing these kind of deals.
I can't believe we're gonna give this thing away. I mean, people, I don't know. Like, you're the luckiest people I ever I know.
Yeah, you guys could start putting some of this stuff into
Jeez.
to play right now, and it's not rocket science, and it's not super hard.
It's easier to find these deals, to make these deals, than to ride a bus. That's for sure. If you've watched the live what is it, show?
Oh yeah. We did a Facebook Live where Stas and I, of course, I was drinking beer, and I was trying to figure out how to get on the bus and ride the bus.
I was not drinking beer. I still couldn't find out.
We had to go upstairs to get the tickets, and we
Jesus.
couldn't pay. We had to have exact change. Anyways, it was like, yeah, it's like I can create $100,000 deals, but I can't ride a bus. You know, so sort of like a little bit of an idiot savant there on the on the stuff. But please email me and text me if anyone's interested in a course. You know, it'll probably take me 3 to 6 months to put it together. And also, too, we also, as we do deals, we use a lot of our, like my partner's Roth IRA money, and we have private money, but we're also looking for other people to joint venture with us that have money to do deals. So you can also text me and say, I have money, and I will call you back.
All right. That's it, right?
Yep. Hey, we did pretty good for winging it.
Yeah, it was great. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. Tune in for the next episode. I don't know when it's going to be the next episode, but tune in.